Man, this place was huge! I woke up and I was already inside. The first thing that hit me was the sheer size of it all. I mean, this place was like a city within a city. Stores as far as the eye could see, each one more extravagant than the last. It was like the mall just sucked me in. One moment I was outside, and the next I was in the heart of this colossal structure. It felt like I had been transported to another dimension, one where shopping was the only way of life. Lights blazed everywhere. Music thumped, people swarmed like ants. The atmosphere was electric, almost overwhelming. Every corner was filled with the buzz of activity, the hum of conversations, and the occasional shout of excitement. This wasn't just any mall, this was the mega mall, the crown jewel of consumerism. It was a place where dreams were sold and fantasies came to life. The architecture was stunning, with towering glass walls and intricate designs that made you feel like you were in a futuristic utopia. I started running, my feet barely touching the polished floor. The adrenaline was pumping through my veins. I felt like I was in a race, but I didn't know what I was running towards or away from. The smooth, shiny surface beneath me made it feel like I was gliding. Turbo speed, just like in my dream. It felt awesome. The wind rushed past my face, and for a moment I felt invincible. It was like I had superpowers and nothing could stop me. But then, reality started to creep back in. But I had to be careful. There was something weird about this place, something not quite right. The more I looked around, the more I noticed the oddities. The way the shadows seemed to move on their own, the flickering lights that cast eerie glows on the walls. The air felt different here. Kind of tingly, you know? It was like there was an electric charge in the atmosphere, making the hairs on my arms stand on end. It was both exhilarating and unsettling at the same time. And the shoppers, they were acting strange, like robots, all moving in the same way, their eyes glazed over. It was as if they were under some kind of spell, mindlessly going through the motions of shopping without any real purpose or emotion. I decided to lay low, stick to the shadows. I didn't want to attract any attention. I needed to figure out what was going on, but I had to do it without drawing too much notice. The shadows became my allies, providing cover as I navigated this bizarre, otherworldly mall. The mega mall had a bunch of different wings, each one themed after a different planet. It was like stepping into a sci-fi movie, with each section meticulously designed to transport you to another world. The attention to detail was astounding, making you feel like you were actually walking on the surface of these distant planets. There was Mars, all red and dusty, with stores selling telescopes and astronaut ice cream. The walls were painted in deep crimson hues, and the floor had a gritty texture, mimicking the Martian soil. You could even buy Martian rocks as souvenirs, though I suspected they were just cleverly marketed Earthstones. The stores here were a mix of high-tech gadgets and quirky space-themed memorabilia. I couldn't resist trying the astronaut ice cream, which was surprisingly delicious despite its odd texture. Venus was a jungle paradise, with waterfalls cascading down the walls and monkeys swinging from the ceiling fans. The air was thick with humidity, and the sound of chirping birds and rustling leaves created an immersive experience. The stores here sold exotic plants, tropical fruits, and eco-friendly products. It was a refreshing change from the arid Martian wing, and I found myself lingering longer than I intended, captivated by the lush greenery and vibrant atmosphere. I zoomed past a giant aquarium, fish staring at me with bulging eyes. The aquarium was a mesmerizing sight, with colorful fish darting in and out of coral reefs. It was like a window into an underwater world, and I couldn't help but stop and watch the graceful movements of the sea creatures. The stores around the aquarium sold marine-themed merchandise, from seashell jewelry to miniature aquariums for home use. It was a serene and calming section of the mall, a stark contrast to the bustling corridors outside. A sign above a store called Jupiter's Jeans flashed neon green and purple. The store was a hub of activity, with people flocking to check out the latest fashion trends inspired by the gas giant. The clothes were bold and futuristic, with metallic fabrics and holographic patterns. It was a fashionista's dream, and I could see why it was one of the most popular stores in the mall. The neon lights added to the otherworldly vibe, making it feel like a scene straight out of a cyberpunk novel. This place was sensory overload, and I was loving it. The vibrant colors, the eclectic mix of sounds, and the sheer variety of stores made it a shopper's paradise. Every corner of the mall had something new and exciting to offer, from interactive exhibits to live performances. It was easy to lose track of time as I wandered through the different wings, each one offering a unique experience. The energy was infectious, and I found myself caught up in the excitement, eager to explore every nook and cranny. But the weird feeling wouldn't go away. Despite the lively atmosphere, there was an undercurrent of unease that I couldn't shake. It was as if something was lurking just out of sight, watching my every move. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling persisted, gnawing at the back of my mind. I glanced around, trying to spot anything unusual, but everything seemed normal. Yet the sense of being watched was undeniable. and it cast a shadow over my otherwise enjoyable experience. Every time I turned a corner, I felt like I was being watched. The sensation was growing stronger, and I couldn't help but feel paranoid. I quickened my pace, hoping to shake off the feeling, but it only intensified. I caught glimpses of shadowy figures out of the corner of my eye, but when I turned to look, they were gone. It was unsettling, and I started to wonder if I was imagining things. The mall, which had seemed so inviting moments ago, now felt like a maze of hidden dangers. I caught glimpses of people in long black coats, their faces hidden by wide-brimmed hats. They moved silently through the crowd, almost blending in with the background. Their presence was eerie, and I couldn't shake the feeling that they were following me. I tried to stay calm, but my heart was racing. Who were these people, and why were they here? The questions swirled in my mind, adding to my growing sense of dread. I needed to find a way out of this wing and back to the safety of the main corridor. They gave me the creeps. The more I saw them, the more unnerved I became. Their silent, watchful presence was like a dark cloud hanging over the mall. I couldn't enjoy the vibrant atmosphere anymore. All I could think about was getting away from them. I made my way towards the exit, my steps quickening with each passing moment. The mall, which had once felt like a wonderland, now seemed like a labyrinth of shadows and hidden threats. I just wanted to escape and find some semblance of normalcy again. I ducked into a sporting goods store, hiding behind a rack of basketballs. My heart hammered in my chest. Who were those creepy people? And why were they following me? Maybe I was just being paranoid. This was all a dream, right? But something told me this was more than just a dream. This felt real. I peeked out from behind the basketballs. The coast was clear. I had to find a way out of this place, and fast. I took off again, weaving through the crowds, my sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. The mall was a labyrinth of stores and people, each turn revealing new challenges. I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins as I dodged shoppers and displays. The holiday rush made everything more chaotic, with people bustling about carrying bags and gifts. It felt like I was in an obstacle course, each step requiring precision and speed. The lights were bright, almost blinding, and the festive music blared from every corner, adding to the sensory overload. I passed a pet store with puppies yipping and kittens batting at laser pointers. Their playful antics momentarily distracted me, and I almost stumbled. The sight of the animals brought a brief smile to my face, a small respite from the tension. The pet store was a haven of innocence amidst the chaos, a reminder of simpler times. But I couldn't afford to linger. The clock was ticking, and I had to keep moving. The sound of the puppies' barks faded as I continued my dash through the mall. A bakery filled the air with the smell of fresh bread. The aroma was intoxicating, and my stomach growled in response. The display case was filled with pastries and cakes, each one more tempting than the last. I could see the bakers working behind the counter, their hands moving skillfully as they prepared the next batch of treats. The warmth of the bakery was inviting, a stark contrast to the cold, impersonal feel of the mall. But I had no time to indulge. I had to stay focused. I wanted to stop, to explore, but I knew I couldn't. The urgency of my mission kept me moving. Each glance at the bakery display was a reminder of what I was missing, but I had to prioritize. The stakes were too high to get sidetracked by a moment of indulgence. I took a deep breath and pushed forward, my eyes scanning the crowd for any signs of danger. Those creepy people were out there, and I had a feeling they were closing in. I could sense their presence, lurking in the shadows, watching my every move. The mall's security cameras were my only allies, capturing glimpses of their movements. I had to stay one step ahead, constantly looking over my shoulder. The fear of being caught was a powerful motivator, driving me to move faster and think smarter. I couldn't let them catch me. Not now, not ever. My legs burned, but I pushed myself harder. The physical exertion was taking its toll, but I couldn't afford to slow down. Each step was a battle against fatigue, my muscles screaming for relief. But the thought of those creepy people closing in gave me the strength to keep going. I had to dig deep, find that extra reserve of energy. The mall seemed endless, each corridor blending into the next. But I couldn't stop, not until I was safe. I had to find an exit, a way out of this madness. The mall's layout was confusing, with signs pointing in every direction. I scanned the area, looking for the familiar green exit sign. My heart raced as I spotted it in the distance. It felt like a beacon of hope, a promise of safety. I sprinted towards it, my mind focused on one thing: escape. The noise of the mall faded into the background as I zeroed in on my goal. Freedom was within reach, and I wasn't going to let anything stop me. Section 5. The Arcade of Wonders. Then I saw it. A giant neon sign that read Cosmic Arcade. This place was insane. Holographic aliens battled robots on giant screens. Kids shouted with excitement as they played games I'd never even seen before. One game caught my eye. It was called Escape from the Mega Mall. Talk about weird. I had to try it. I dug in my pockets for some change, but I came up empty. Figures. This was a dream after all. Section 6. Hunted! Suddenly I heard a voice. There he is! Don't let him get away! It was one of the creepy people! I didn't wait around to see what they wanted. I took off running, dodging shoppers and leaping over benches. They were right behind me, their footsteps echoing through the mall. Section 7. Stairway to Freedom. I spotted a sign for the restrooms and veered off, my pursuers hot on my heels. This had better not lead to a dead end. The door swung shut behind me, plunging me into darkness. I fumbled for a light switch and flicked it on. A flickering light bulb illuminated a dingy stairwell. This was my only chance. I took the stairs 2 at a time, my lungs burning. Where were these stairs even going? Section 8. Back doors and secret passages. The stairwell opened into a narrow hallway lined with pipes and electrical wires. It smelled like stale popcorn and cleaning supplies. Definitely not the glamorous part of the mall. I crept down the hallway, my heart pounding in my chest. Every creak and groan made me jump. I had to find a way out, and fast. At the end of the hallway, I spotted a door marked Exit. This had to be it. Section 9. Escape to Reality. I threw open the door and stumbled out into the cool night air. The mega mall loomed behind me, its bright lights a stark contrast to the darkness surrounding it. I had escaped. But what was that place? And who were those creepy people? I didn't have any answers, but one thing was for sure. I wasn't going back to the mega mall anytime soon.